Come on in! Time travel. It's always a tricky thing. Not knowing if it's worth it to fix a mistake and not cause a disaster, or not knowing if you are causing a bigger one because of it. As I come from a frozen Hoenn region, I'm hoping that I made the right choice by stopping the coming second ice age. After the gym, we managed to do some serious training using the super training that we got access to a while ago, but I forgot about it before the gym. Oops. For our team to go help out the Devoncore employee. He tells us that the grunt stole some parts that are needed for something, which from my time I already know is a submarine, and he asks us to get them as he remembers us from the woods. I take Splinter, Carrier, and now Leaf, who is a Nuzlocke, head to Rushturf Tunnel, seeing an old man cry about his Pico. It does ring a bell, but I can't place it, and I thrash the Team Aqua grunt. We give the Wingull, who is named Pico, to the old man, who thanks us very much and to come see him when we get a chance. As we give the Devoncore employee the parts back, he wants us to meet the president, as the president wants us to take the Devon parts to Slateport and a letter to Stephen and Duford. I do have memories flooding back to me as I hear that name. This was the champion during when Kyogre was running rampant and lost his life to that same legendary mentioned. With the strongest trainer being defeated, no one was able to take down Kyogre, and that led to the entire Hoenn region to fall into an ice age. Everyone thought that it was Kyogre was going to raise just the sea levels. Another side effect that wasn't thought of was that the continued rain blocked out the sun, and the extra water made another ice age versus a great flood. That is why I need to stop Kyogre, to prevent the ice age from happening again. I nodded yes to the president, as he gives me some directions to a Mr. Brawley outside of Petalburg, which can help me get to Duford and Slateport. As I leave the building, I see a scientist gentleman talking about how he can make fossils into Pokemon. I had managed to get a skull fossil and a plume fossil during my travels. I'm curious to see if this is true. As I give him the fossils, he gives me back a Houndour, which I name Blaze, and a Volibee, who I name Goth. As I talk to them, I explain what is going on and what my mission is. I feel like all the time talk kind of went to their head like it did with Carrier, and that I won't be able to give them items or heal them outside of a Pokemon Center, which is forced. Outside of the Devoncore, May does tell me who Mr. Brawley is, and finally gives me a little bit of clarification about this person. He was another person that was helping out as many people as he could, since he was a great boatman and was able to help people during the time that Kyogre was just raising the sea level. I get down to Mr. Brawley's house and also see that it was the old man that Pico had stolen from him. Now I know why Pico sounded familiar, but it wasn't Mr. Brawley's name at the time. He lost his poor Pico during a major storm, and he renamed himself Mr. Pico in honor of his Pokemon. Mr. Brawley is excited to see me, is more than willing to help me travel across the water. I travel across the water in his boat, and I'm able to see the beautiful sea waters. It makes me more determined to make sure that I save this timeline. We get to Duford, and then I met a curious fisherman who gives me an old rod, which is good because now I can fish up for even some more encounters. We get a Magnemite named Zaps in Duford, and I swear I can see the same young innocence in that single eye like I do with Wave and Splinter. We went back to Petalburg and fished up a deerling, which was named Bambi. And I can't figure it out, but I have a weird feeling about them. During these two battles, I do notice that Leaf is only willing to use 3 moves. I try to teach Leaf some more moves so that I can learn 4 moves, but they just refuse to learn more. Maybe they feel prideful and they think they only need 3 moves. Who knows? We go to Route 115 above Rustboro and manage to catch an Azurill. Even though it's a normal type now, it will lose the typing when it evolves, which means that I won't be able to use it when it does, so that's kind of bad. It also seemed like Baby's, Azurill name, brain isn't that developed because it starts to sputter and coo like Carrier, which already tells me that I won't be able to give it items or heal besides a Pokemon Center. We go back to Duford and headed to Granite Cave to catch a Centric named Ring, and this little guy also has the same innocence in him as I've seen before. We head to the Duford gym after getting all the encounters that I could get and face off against Brawley. We have learned that he uses ghost types from his trainers as a Honedge almost one-shots Leaf, but we were able to switch and take it down with Splinter. He leads Golett and we lead Splinter. Splinter uses focus energy to help raise his critical hit ratio, while Golett goes for defense curl. We then go for a Dark Gem, which boosts a Dark type move once used for the first time, and we randomly have found along our way. Bite to deal massive damage to Golett, as it also goes for a serious rollout onto Splinter. For people who don't know, if a Pokemon uses Defense Curl, then Rollout, it will start out boosted damage because of Defense Curl, and then get stronger from that boosted first damage. I was hoping Splinter would either get a flinch so that he couldn't use Rollout, or get a crit to break through the extra defense and one-shot the Golett. Splinter is able to use Bite again to take down the Golett next turn, however. Litwick comes out after Golett, but it goes down a one-shot crit Bite from Splinter. We get Gear Grind from Brawley and leave the gym to have some R&R on the beach, taking the time to lay on the sand and actually being able to take in the beautiful sun.